Growing up, I believed I was a child of God. Every Sunday, I attended St. John's Episcopal Church in Hingham with my mother, and I remember how every Saturday she would write a check and put it in her pledge envelope. But as a young adult, I stopped practicing my faith for about 20 years. I married a man who was a lapsed Catholic, and I only went back to St. John's at Christmas and Easter, and to have our daughter Allison baptized. After a painful divorce, Allison and I started going to All Saints in Belmont, where I live. I became a member, and I pledged as I had learned from my mother. I was renewing my faith, and I felt like I was finding my soul again. Then in 1989, a friend invited me to Trinity, and I loved all of it. This beautiful sanctuary, the gorgeous music, the inspired preaching, how Trinity's community makes a difference in people's lives through our outreach work, and especially the Christian education. I dove into the learning, starting with the Inquirer's class. I listened to the stories of the people in my small group, all of whom were not raised Episcopal or with any religion. It was wonderful, I thought, that the people in this church were so inclusive and embracing of anyone seeking answers and meaning, so helpful to people who are serious in their endeavor to strengthen their relationship with God. I felt compelled to be reaffirmed into this community, had my diocesan membership officially transferred, and naturally, I pledged. I truly felt like a child of God again. Next, I took DOC, which was a transformative experience, and then I became a DOC facilitator. I learned and still truly believe that life is a gift from the Divine Spirit, that God is the loving source of everything, that we are God's stewards in this earthly life, and that life is short, so we need to live fully and generously and in community. I experienced this very profoundly on the 2013 pilgrimage to Israel, especially when we traveled pre-dawn into the Judean desert and sat in the dark and in silence and watched the sun rise over Jerusalem, and then we celebrated the Eucharist. Another part of my reaffirmation was to join Trinity Circle, because what better expression of gratitude could there be if my passing comes sooner rather than later, than a gift from my retirement assets, more generous than I could afford with my annual pledge commitment. But if I live to be 94 like my mother, well, sorry. Now, as I transition into my retirement years and reduced income, I need to reflect on the amount of my giving, but not my commitment to give back to my church community. Will you please join me in reaffirming your commitment to giving back generously to support God's work through Trinity? I'd like to close with my favorite Bible verse about giving, Matthew 6:21. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.